Hey everyone, it's Matt with Redline Studios here in New York City with another Film and Television Tuesday tip. Tuesday tips are all about giving advice to young filmmakers out there that derive from the experiences I've encountered on sets, in edit rooms, and in pitch meetings throughout my career. Today's Tuesday tip topic is use what you got. One of my favorite filmmakers of all time is Terrence Malick, and there's one piece of wisdom that he shared that has always stuck with me, and that is to run with what you got. If you're scheduled to shoot on a Tuesday at noon and it starts raining, don't panic, don't make changes, just shoot in the rain. Yes, continuity is important in film. You can't go having a character holding a pistol in one shot and then in the reverse he's holding a bazooka. Everyone's going to notice that, and it's obviously ridiculous. But life, as we know it, is unpredictable. So having a scene going from sunny to rain is not that crazy. And sometimes that stuff equals cinematic gold. Think about Robert Rodriguez when he made El Mariachi. The story was constructed around elements that were accessible and available to the filmmaker. From the cast to the props to the location, a script and idea was worked backwards from what was available. We kind of ran into this same mindset several times during the making of Fetish. With a small budget and a Hollywood icon like Joan Collins on set, time was often precious. Film shoots are inherently full of inefficiencies, so maximizing what you have is crucial. Fetish was a very dialogue-driven film, and I was very conscious of the fact that sometimes when a scene plays on too long in a single location, it can often feel tedious. So, when we were scouting locations and discussing set designs with my production designer, I focused on spaces that offered visual diversity without requiring travel. This approach is nothing new to me. In fact, the first film I ever produced was a kids' comedy called All Screwed Up. One of the things that I took away from that film was knowing how to pick locations intelligently so you can get a lot out of one space. Back on that film, we shot in a high school for 20 days. Yet within that one location, we had a gym, we had a cafeteria, we had basketball courts, we had football fields, we had locker rooms, classrooms, biology labs. So much variety under one roof, and more importantly, under one price. Fetish followed a similar philosophy: stretch the budget. But you don't have to compromise production value. When you look at our main location in the film, which was this loft apartment, it wasn't exactly written like this in the script. The script called for a space filled with movie memorabilia, but during scouting, we found this amazing kind of quirky hotel room that had a dining room, a fireplace, a grand piano, and a large open living space, kind of straight out of the Hitchcock film Rope. This space in itself became a character. So we started to rearrange dialogue scenes to fit the location. Now, instead of everything happening in one room, parts of the scene happened at a dinner table.
You need an axe, Francesca, to hack your way through the mediocrity.
Parts happened at this main corridor.
I'd never have thought that you were the kind of boy that other people would make fun of.
And my personal favorite, we moved one of the scenes to this little piano area where now the character sings his lines instead of speaking them.
Francesca, you are giving me your automatic pilot crap. I am not a blogger kid or some sleazy tabloid hack. I want this book to represent everything you are, my sweet. Serious and talented and undeniably deep.
I am deep.
It was so much fun and so weird and so silly, but it made sense for the genre of the film and it just worked. This film was dark, it was moody, it was self-aware, and often weird. So, embracing these unexpected opportunities fit perfectly. I do remember my good friend Charles back then having some hesitancy about singing his lines because he's not a trained singer. And I remember telling him, that's even better. Use what you got. Let's make this weird. Some of the best films out there are the weirdest. What was also great about this location is it required minimal additional dressing. Unlike constructing a set from scratch, we just brought in the props and the accents. The lesson learned here, when scouting, Don't just look for what the script says. Be open to spaces that elevate your story in ways you had not imagined. Looking back at Fetish, I also remember that this location not only had a fireplace, not only had a piano, not only had this expansive dining room, not only had this loft area, but it also had this expansive balcony overlooking all of New York City. So when we found out about that, what did we do? Of course, we extended the scene to take place outside in that great spot. So now, if you think about it, we had maybe 10 pages of dialogue once existing in one room, now existing in 4 or 5 separate, identifiable spaces, all within the same location. That is production value gold. The night of the balcony shoot, it was dumping buckets of snow over Manhattan. And so I had to channel my own inner Terrence Malick and say, so fuck it, let's just film in the snow. And I have to say, Joan was awesome. She threw on her snow boots and was such a trooper. The scene worked beautifully, and you know what? It was all worth it, because when we finally cut the film and put it out there in the festival circuit, Joan won a couple awards for Best Actress, and it just did really well. So let's revisit some of the key takeaways from what we're discussing here. Use what you got. Embrace unpredictability. Let your locations and circumstances inspire creativity rather than constrain it. I hope you enjoyed this Tuesday tip. Please remember to like, share, and follow us on social media or visit our company site at www.redlinestudios.net.